Hey, it's Randy from Funeral Funds of America. In this video, I'm going to share the actual pricing for $25,000 worth of burial, cremation, final expense, life insurance, or funeral funds for a 68-year-old female. Now, first thing I recommend is go to just about any page on our website. We've got these free quoters here, and you can just select the state that you live in. We are licensed in all 50 states, by the way. Select the coverage amount, put your birthday in there, fill out the rest of the info, click Get Quotes Now. It will take you to a page that's got the best insurance companies that are going to have the lowest pricing you may qualify for in your state. You can also call us at our toll-free number, 888-862-9456. One of our agents can help you and get you direct quotes as well. Now, the first thing a 68-year-old female should be thinking about if she's looking for $25,000 worth of insurance is, hey, is that $25,000 going to be enough to cover her final expense needs? Now, typically, that would be one of two things. That'd be either a cremation or a burial. Now, let's do cremation first. The average cost of a cremation right now in the United States is between $1,000 to $2,000. That's if you come home in a cardboard box or an urn. Now, if you're going to have that cremation and then have some sort of a ceremony, like a remembrance of life ceremony or celebration of life ceremony, that's going to be between $3,500 to $4,500. So, coverage-wise, what would you need? Well, if you're going to get that cremation where you just come home in a cardboard box or an urn, we would typically recommend around $5,000 to $7,000 worth of coverage. Now, you're probably saying, well, Randy, the cremation's $2,000. Why are we getting $5,000? Well, the reason is we've got a 68-year-old female who probably wants to make it to 78 and maybe even 88 years old. And we know that the cost of everything goes up over time, including cremations. So all we're doing is we're just inflation-proofing the plan. While she's at a younger age, we're going to lock in the best coverage at her youngest age, and that's going to inflation-proof her plan. And then by getting a little more coverage than you need if somebody were to die today, you also provide some extra income. God forbid if you didn't live as long as you thought and you had some other expenses kind of right up front, like maybe some credit card debt or medical bills or something like that. Now, if you're going to have that ceremony and the cremation, we would typically recommend probably around $7,000 to $10,000. And again, inflation proofing the plan, but if you died unexpectedly sooner than anybody thought, there's a little extra money to take care of some other final expenses. Now, if you're going to be buried, the average cost of a burial right now in the United States is right around $10,000. So if you walk into pretty much any funeral home in the United States right now with a $10,000 check, they should help you out. It's hard to imagine they would say no and then tell you to walk out the door, and then you just walk down to one of their competitors a couple of blocks down the road. But just understand, for $10,000, that is not going to be a fancy funeral by any means. It's going to be very simple, but you should get it done. But it is definitely not inflation-proofed. So typically, most of the time, people we help 68-year-old females, they'd look at somewhere between $10,000, $15,000, and $20,000. And it just depends on your funds. If you're on a fixed or limited income and all you can afford is $10,000, get the $10,000 right now. That takes care of the most immediate need. You can always add more coverage later. But by the same token, $15,000 or $20,000 is really going to inflation-proof your plan over time to make your policy work longer. Now, sometimes some people will say, hey, I want to get $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 and leave some money behind for the kids. Typically, we say, hey, get this insurance for its really intended purpose, final expenses, and then get that locked in, and then you can always come back and add some coverage for the kids if you want. It's just most people are on a fixed or limited income, but if you can afford the whole thing all at one time too, we can certainly help you out with that. But we're just sharing with you what we've seen works best for people in the past. Now, one thing we always recommend getting is first day coverage or benefits. That is so important. We do not recommend those 2-year waiting period plans at all. We'll go into those in a moment. But yeah, first day coverage, what that means is that hypothetically, if your policy were approved and issued today and you died tomorrow, the insurance company would have to write that check for $20,000, $25,000, whatever it is. And that's what you want. You want immediate payment. It's the best coverage out there with the lowest price, believe it or not. So yeah, you definitely want that. Now, some people would say, well, Randy, I like the first aid coverage, but I hear they ask health questions, and I'm not in the best of health. To which we always say, hey, your health is our problem, not your problem, at least from an insurance perspective. What we mean by that is we work with a bunch of different companies. They all ask different health questions. They all have different underwriting requirements. And right now, we're getting about 95% of the people that we help who are able to get first aid coverage or benefits. So let us help you out with that. Really, the only reason we wouldn't be able to get you first aid coverage is if you waited too long and you had some really significant health issues, like maybe a terminal illness where you're going to pass away in the next 12 months, or you had dementia, or you're on dialysis, or in a hospital, or in a nursing home. If that were the case, we'd probably refer you out to a different insurance company. But something that else happens, gosh, it seems to happen every week, is we'll get somebody that will call up and say, hey, we had a family member pass away this last week, and they didn't have insurance, and we don't have any money, and now their body's at the funeral home, and the funeral home director's not going to do anything till he gets a check in his hand. So we need to get this insurance really quick so we can get a check from the insurance company to give to the funeral home director. And we have to let them know there is no insurance company in the United States that offers a plan on somebody who's already dead. So it is so sad that this person who passed away didn't take care of this. They knew they were going to die someday. They knew they needed this insurance. They probably thought about getting it. They just never did it. And now their family's going to have to suffer the consequences. And really, in most cases, the family's going to have to put this on a credit card and pay 26% interest, and they'll be paying on this thing for years just because you didn't do what was right. You didn't protect your family and loved ones. So don't be that person. That's a terrible legacy to leave behind. You could have done everything else right in life, and then you finish off with this, and that's what you'll be remembered for. So if you're on a fixed or limited income, we can just get you a lower amount of coverage. We can always add more coverage later, but that gets some immediate protection for your family members. Now, the one thing we don't recommend is those plans with 2-year waiting periods. And, Colonial Penn, you may not know this, but Colonial Penn, their $9.95 plan, that's a 2-year waiting period plan. Ouch. Right? Ouch. You don't want that if you can qualify for first aid coverage. But Colonial Penn's not the only one. There's other companies out there that offer those 2-year waiting period plans, like Mutual of Omaha, their United of Omaha line, AIG, Gerber. Gosh, there's a bunch of other companies too. But, some of these companies out there have done an amazing job of convincing the American public that if you're over age 50, the only thing you qualify for is a plan with a 2-year waiting period, to which we always say, don't believe such nonsense. I mean, we help people with first aid coverage all day long. Don't buy that garbage. Yeah, go for that first aid coverage. Now, I'll show you some pricing in a minute here. For a 68-year-old female, she probably just got done watching that Colonial Penn $9.95 commercial, and she goes, boy, that's some slick production. She's probably thinking she's going to get $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, maybe even $50,000 for only $9.95. And then she calls a Colonial Penn agent or goes on their website like we've done for you here and sees that their 1 unit of coverage for $9.95 is only going to be $1,112. Ouch, right? I mean, $1,112, I don't think that's probably even hardly enough for a cremation in most parts of the country. I mean, it might be in a few parts of the country, but not many. And it really doesn't matter if it is enough for a cremation because it's got a 2-year waiting period. And yeah, this thing's not going to pay out for the next 2 years if you die of a health or medical reason. So why would you get such an underfunded policy just to brag about a $9.95 rate? We really don't recommend that. There's some people out there, they would say that these companies that offer these low teaser rates, they do so not wanting to sell you the low teaser rate. They only want to get your information to get you on the phone, to call you up and then show you how little coverage it is, and then upsell you into greater amounts of coverage that are much more profitable for them. So we would never say that Colonial Penn would ever do anything like that. But there's some people that seem to be convinced of that, and I guess you can just make up your own mind considering $995 is only going to get you around $1,000 worth of coverage. So let's take a look here. There's one issue with Colonial Penn. They max out at 15 units. You cannot get any more than 15 units. So we're at about $1,000 unit. I'm going to guess it's going to be around 16,500 or something. Let's take a look here. There we go, $16,680. So yeah, you can't even buy $25,000 from Colonial Penn. You wouldn't want to either, because look at this pricing. That's $150 pretty much for $16,000. Let's go look at first day coverage. See what that's going to be. So $25,000, female, age 68. Get quote. And again, this is $16,000 for $150. I'm going to show you this here again, because I know you're not going to believe me. $25,000 for first day coverage. This is level first day coverage. $25,000 is $113. So roughly, would you rather have $25,000 for $113, or would you rather have $16,000 for $150? Yeah, no brainer, right? Yeah, you need to be an educated consumer. And here's the deal. If you're not an educated consumer, that's okay. Let us help you be an educated consumer. Because, yeah, Colonial Penn's roughly, just round the numbers, roughly $40 more a month-ish. It's like 37, but say 40. And you get less coverage. So $40 a month times 12 months is $480 a year. And if you are a 68-year-old female, lives to age 78, that's going to be roughly $4,800. And it's probably going to be around $4,500 more, just give or take. But you got to ask yourself, why would you ever overpay around $4,500 for a plan that's got a 2-year waiting period and that you're going to overpay on that policy for the rest of your life? We don't recommend that at all. And, $16,000 versus $25,000, about $10,000 more, maybe $9,000. Regardless, it's obvious here what the better choice is. Let's look at some other companies here, because we're around 113. Here's a Limico. They're about $10 more level coverage, first day coverage, but $10 more a month. That's $120 a year. After 10 years, you're going to overspend $1,200, $1,200. I don't know anybody out there that can really afford to just overpay $1,200. So yeah, you're going to get your savings locked in from the very first day. And again, we can help you be that smart consumer. Let's see if there's another one here. You'll be able to see all these different companies too. Oh yeah, here's Lincoln Heritage. They're a fine company, I guess, but wow, look at that pricing, almost $170. It is first day coverage, but almost $170. Yikes. So they've got a deal where when you pass away, they will supposedly call 2-3 different funeral homes, do a couple other things to like get you the lowest pricing or something like that. But boy, they don't do it for free. No, they charge extra premium for that. It's built into the price, and it is a doozy expensive. So basically $170 minus $113, around $57 a month. So $57 a month times 12 months is right around $684. So that'd be, if our female age 68 lives to age 78, she'll have overpaid right around $6,840 roughly. So you got to ask yourself, you got to ask yourself, is it worth overpaying an insurance company around $6,840 to call 2 or 3 funeral homes, maybe do a couple other things that only takes an hour or so to do? Man, there's some people out there who would say that's a pretty great payday for them for an hour or so of work. And we would agree. We recommend you don't do it. Keep that money in your own pocket. Because what we do is we provide free of charge. You can download this off our website. We've got a free funeral and estate planning guide. And you just download that off our website, print it out, and then you just fill it in. Who gets what goes where, what you want done after you're gone. And then when you're done with that, you keep it with your insurance policy. And now your family members are not going to have to worry about anything. They'll be protected both financially with the insurance policy, but emotionally with the funeral and estate planning guide, because all they need to do is open that up and then read through it and just execute your wishes, and everything's paid for with the insurance policy. And they will know that you not only loved them in life, but you actually loved and protected them in death after you're gone, actually when they would need you more than ever, and you were there for them. So what a wonderful legacy to leave behind. We can help you do that. give us a call at funeralfunds.com, 888-862-9456. We've got a special quote for our YouTube visitors and viewers. It's funeralfunds.com/YouTube. And we've got a special quote there where you're going to get the lowest price and the best rates. So take advantage of that. So if you've got an existing policy and you want to price shop it to see if you can get better pricing, we can help you out with that. If you want to add coverage to it, we can help you out with that. If you're looking for brand new coverage or just have some health questions or coverage questions or pricing questions, we can help you out with that. But, you know, we look forward to that day when we're able to get you the most amount of insurance for the least amount of money. We will be blessed to help you with that at some point in the future. Until that day comes, you stay safe, you take care, you have a nice day. Bye-bye.